So this session is all about our potential and embracing personal growth, which is very difficult for most of us. Um, Anytime we have to get a little bit uncomfortable and try to get inside of us and really understand um, and grow, it's hard. It's really challenging. So if you are here, if you are tuning in, I am proud of you. If you join in the practice that I'll be sharing, just know that not everyone will do this work. And for that reason alone, pat yourself on the back. Okay. So today I'm going to dig into the transformative power of self-awareness, how this personal growth helps us be more resilient and encourage you in the growth mindset. And if you haven't heard of growth mindset versus fixed mindset, that is a whole nother talk. But just to recap for you, fixed mindset is like things are the way they are and I can't do anything about it. And a growth mindset is, okay, this is the situation that's happening. How can I move through this? How can I learn and grow throughout this situation? So I always like to look at what words mean, and more importantly, what words mean like in my life and in the life of my clients. So in our chat, in our consideration of the word potential, it is to grow into, to see that there could be more. So it's not merely about the skills we possess or the achievements that we've attained, but it's about tapping into the capacity within each of us to grow, to learn, to evolve. Okay. I really like to think about what that word means because that helps me dig into it more. What capacity do I have to grow, to learn, right? So your potential is not limited to past or current circumstances. It's about embracing a journey of self-discovery. It's about realizing that there aren't any limits. The limits that we have are usually self-imposed. Yes, there are some situations in life. Yes, there are some things in life that do limit us in certain ways, but a big percentage of our limits come from ourselves and our beliefs. So consider this. How do you perceive your own potential? Is it something that's tangible or elusive, like you can't really figure it out? You can't really get to it? Or do you feel like this is kind of a concrete thing and you know your potential? And most of us are going to fall into the first, where it's not very tangible. It's kind of like hiding in the shadows, and we aren't aware of the capabilities that we have within ourselves. So I'm going to say that again. Most of us feel like we are in this place where potential is something that's hiding in the shadows, and we're not aware of the capabilities we have within us. So if you're nodding your head yes, you're not alone. As we navigate our journey of growth, whether it's personal or professional, we have to acknowledge the role of self-awareness. And self-awareness is another tricky topic. So I want to look at that a bit. Self-awareness is the foundation of growth. It helps us have a deeper understanding of our inner workings and how that plays into our external interactions. So self-awareness helps us recognize our emotions, our thoughts, our strengths, our weaknesses, our values. All of those things are part of our self-awareness. And when we are mindful, when we are practicing mindfulness and meditation, we become better at this self-awareness, and we build this connection within ourselves and how that translates to the world around us. So this is why I'm saying self-awareness is a tricky topic, but I want you to think about how if we're aware of our emotions, we're aware of our thoughts, we're aware of our strengths and our weaknesses and our values and what's important to us, all of those things play into the people and the situations that are in our lives. We are not on this planet alone. And so how can we build within ourselves to be or do better outwardly, right? So meditation is a powerful tool in self-discovery or the self-awareness. And by setting aside time for this introspection, we create space to observe those emotions, to observe those thoughts, to observe those feelings without judgment. So self-awareness, again, we lean into our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings. But the trick is to not attach judgment to them, that an emotion or a thought or a feeling is just that. That helps us heighten that self-awareness and allows us to identify recurring patterns and understand different triggers we have in our lives. Just being aware of how things impact us. So I mentioned that what we are doing inwardly goes outward, and the same thing happens, the reverse thing happens, that outward stuff impacts us inward. So how can we be aware of the triggers and the situations in life, these things that we keep doing that aren't serving us? So when we integrate meditation into our daily routine, our daily rituals or habits, we become more aware, we have a better understanding of ourselves and our experiences. And we can find those little nuances and of how our thoughts and our feelings and challenges come into our lives, and we can move through them with better clarity and better resilience. So we can respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively, and we can find more peace in our lives. So I mentioned a practice earlier, and that's what I'd like to move into now. This is a journaling practice to help you uncover and lean into your potential. And so after this session, I invite you to set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes, or write until you feel like you've explored everything there is to explore, whatever works best for you. Some people work really well with a timer. Some people need a little bit more open-ended space. So first thing is either in a notebook. I encourage you to write this out, but for some people digitally, or like in your notes app or recording a voice memo works as well. Identify your abilities, your strengths, and your passions. So what different abilities do you have? What different strengths do you have? And what passions do you have? And that is where I encourage you to write them down and spend some time reflecting on how you currently utilize these things in your life. So these abilities, strengths, and passions are where a lot of our potential lies. And so where are we maximizing that potential in our work, in our relationships, in our personal goals or achievements? And if you're really struggling with this, consider that maybe your potential is really strong in one area, but not in another. Maybe your potential is you're pushing that potential in your work, but maybe not so much in your personal life. Or maybe you're pushing your potential in your business, but not so much in your well-being, right? So where are you maximizing that potential? And then identify the places that you're not maximizing that potential. And we can lean into that space and bring our potential into play more often in those areas. So if you feel stuck, if this practice is I don't know what to do here, you're not alone. There's always so much more to uncover. Those of us who have been on this journey for a little while, we've been in that place of doubt and that place of fear, and that still comes up sometimes. Those of us who have been doing this for decades, we're still working daily to uncover just a little bit more and just a little bit more. As we continue this growth, as I mentioned, we have this growth mindset. There is no end point. We're always doing this work. So if you're struggling, reach out for support or guidance, whether it's through personal reflection or finding assistance, from a mentor or a coach. You have the power to unleash your full potential. Like no one else can do that for you. And so I encourage you that if you're feeling stuck, to please get some support and push through these challenges that come with trying to grow and push our boundaries a little bit, that comfort zone, right? So if you tuned in, if you're catching this, I want to thank you for joining me in this journey of empowerment. Really, as we grow, we become more empowered in our lives. Your potential knows no bounds. By cultivating this growth mindset, by practicing resilience, by nurturing that self-awareness we talked about, you can unlock everything within you. You can open that door. So until next time, stay inspired, keep growing, and remember that this journey is ongoing. Embrace it, nurture it, and let it help guide you toward your future. Thanks for tuning in.